We want to obviously go into this game with belief and confidence that it'll click, or one of these moments can be taken and we can turn a draw into a win, if you like. We know it's Chelsea, we know they've got fantastic players, top coach. But in terms of our all-round performance and where the boys are at, I think they're performing well up to a certain point, and it's just about executing these moments that are presenting themselves.
Afternoon, Graham.
Afternoon.
We start with the Reece James news. There's a bit of conflicting reports in one, he's not too bad, two, he's going to miss the World Cup. Could you clarify the situation for us?
Well, he's due to see a specialist over the weekend. So until we get that information, there's not too much else I can add, unfortunately. The rest will just be speculation from my perspective. So we'll wait and see.
You can't have been too concerned at the time because he flew home on a budget airline.
I don't know. Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he did.
No. It was what, sorry?
He's on his flight.
Oh, was he? Okay.
And it's got worse since he got back then.
I don't think so, but again, we need to just check. There's discomfort, so we just need to check and see a specialist. So it's the only thing I know.
And what's he saying? Because most players have a gauge of how bad they're feeling. They've had injuries before. How's he? What's he saying to you?
Well, he spoke yesterday. He felt not too bad, but again, until you get these things checked, you never know. So we need to make sure we get them checked with a specialist, and then we can find the way forward.
Huge blow, him, England, yourself, it is something serious.
Yeah, but we'll wait and see. There's no point looking into the doomsday scenario yet. We just need to check and make sure it's okay, and then go forward.
Okay. Next on my injury bulletin is Kante, and reports emerging from France last night that he could be set to miss the World Cup with his hamstring injury. Where's he with his injury and recovery and prospects of playing in Qatar?
Again, he's due to see a consultant the weekend. It's a setback, so it's not good news. But anything other than that, again, at this stage, I can't give you anything more. But he's seen somebody the weekend.
Okay, and final update, just because it appears in an injury bulletin.
No, he's just progressing where he was. I don't think we'll see him before the World Cup in terms of playing for Chelsea. Yeah, looks that way.
Okay, let's talk a bit about Chelsea then. You said when you came over you were going to have a clean slate, give every player the opportunity. You've had a very good look at a lot of players now. Where are you in knowing what you think your strongest lineup will be and where maybe they need to do a bit more work?
Well, I think we've had quite a few games in a short space of time. So we've had to use the group, I think, as wisely as possible, which we've done. I've been really impressed with the guys. Their attitude has been fantastic. There's a few lads that still haven't had game time, but that's not necessarily because they've done anything wrong. It's just you can only field 11. So the main focus now is just trying to go game to game and keep progressing. I don't think we're at the maximum in terms of where the team's at. We're not at the limit, so there's more to come from the team, I think, and within that there's more to come from the individual. So always keep an open mind, and then we'll see.
Kepa's obviously played every minute under you. How's Edouard Mendy been? Because he's always been, since he arrived, the first choice. Have you seen him react to being the understudy, seemingly, rather than the starter in the last few weeks?
No, he's been great. Attitude fantastic, supporting the team. Obviously, he was injured when I arrived. Kepa's played and done well and contributed to positive results. And we have a situation now where we have two really good goalkeepers and there's competition, and that's what you need. You need that to push each other along.
Last one, go.
Video this week emerged from one of your players, Bamian, questioning big players and how Potters maybe didn't manage the big players. A lot was made when you took over of the big egos and how you would...
I haven't got a big ego.
Well, no, that's obviously the otherwise. That was one of the big things levied at you, that you never really managed big players and big egos. How have you found the first few weeks? I've
found it really good. As I've said many a time, The players are open, they're honest, they're responsible, they're ambitious, they're determined, they want to do well. So far so good from my perspective.
You haven't had to have those hard, big conversations then with them yet. Are you ready for that? And do you think it's just one of those things that you'll manage?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're still human beings. You know, there's a media perception that you get to a certain level and they grow a second head or something and they become not like the rest of us. And it's easy to put out there, but the reality I've found it's not the case. I mean, at Brighton there wasn't massive amounts of big players, but Adam Lallana has won the Champions League, played for Liverpool for 7 years. Danny Welbeck's done okay in his career, and speak to those guys, I managed to do all right with them, despite their second head, because they're big players and got massive egos.
You made it sound very simple, but we all know it's not always that simple, Graham.
Well, everyone, I think that you underestimate in the Premier League squads, 24 players that all want to play, that know the consequences if they do well. So when you don't pick them, they're disappointed. Their ego's damaged, they're hurt, they're disappointed. People are complex in lots of walks of life. I'm sure you're complex in your own way, you know, it's just... Well, exactly. So it's not straightforward, this job, whatever the level. And so far we've managed it okay.
Well, it's all going rather well for Graham Potter as the Chelsea manager, unbeaten since he arrived and heading into this match with a lot of confidence after dismantling AC Milan in the Champions League in back-to-back matches.
Unbelievable again, isn't it? I mean, I don't think we ever doubted him as a coach, and then with the great, no disrespect, when you have a different calibre of players that he's working with, the elite. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But, you know, they spent a lot of money. You've got really elite players. I think it was only going to be inevitable, really, what he's done for him. But to do it in such a quick turnaround as well, though, the thing for me now is he changes his team a lot, and it's a case of will he be able to constantly keep them happy? But when you've got a degree in emotional intelligence, I think his player management will be good, so I think he'll be fine.
Give us a bit of insight into Graham Potter as a man then, Glenn.
I think, like Karen touched on there, he does change his squad a lot, and I think that's something that can be quite unsettling to begin with, but then you get used to being managed by him and playing under him, and you realise that he's dropping you for a reason, more likely than anything a rest or for the benefit of the team, and it is all about the collective, about the team progressing. And he's good, he communicates really well, and you always know that another chance is going to come up in the future. It's not like you're dropped and you're out of my squad. You're very much part of it, but it's interchangeable. And he's got loads of games. There's so many games. The fixture list is so heavy, so some of the players I'm sure will be happy for a rest.
Yeah, that's so true. There were 7 changes between the first AC Milan game and the Wolves match at the weekend, so you can see exactly how much he's utilising the whole squad, Karen. In terms of what we're seeing on the pitch, are we already seeing the Graham Potter way in a short space of time?
Bits of it. I still think there's more to come. I really do. I think even under Thomas Tuchel, I think they were quite fluid in how they moved and rotated. So I think you're seeing that is still, maybe we'll see more of that from Graham Potter. I think you'll see more young players as well. I think they'll even develop even more under him. I think from an outsider, and you probably know him better, for me when I played, there wasn't many coaches that actually coached me. It was all about getting the result and doing what's... I always think that he improves his players, and I think if he can continually improve what he's got now at Chelsea, they can go on to another level.
Well, when you look at Brighton's academy, he brought players from that and he made them a success in the first team. But when you look at the Chelsea academy, it's one of the best academies in the world, so they will be looking for him to bring players through. And I think one man will be really happy that he's signed is Conor Gallagher, because he had a fantastic year at Palace. And he'll build the Chelsea team around players like him. I think he's a perfect fit for Chelsea, I think he's a little bit of a test filler this weekend, obviously, to come down from AC Milan midweek, and I don't think he'll make quite as many changes as what he made at Wolves.
Mason Mount is one of the players who's benefiting under Graham Potter already. Started every single game under him. He's the only outfield player to do that since Graham Potter arrived. Are we seeing the best of him this season now?
Yeah, I do. I think he's brilliant at pressing. I think a lot of even Gareth Southgate picks him in his side because of his work around how he presses and then his ability to unlock defences. But again, I think Graham Potter will make him more fluid. We'll maybe put him in different positions, put him in different areas where he can start to develop. But I've always liked Mason Mount, and as an attacker, I like him because of what he does off the ball and how his defensive work rate really helps the rest of the team. And I think Potter really likes that as well.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting you picked up that point, because I think you're right. I think that's why Graham does like him, because I think they're learning out of possession how Graham wants them to play, and you can see almost them pressing. Mason Mount's looking over his shoulders, checking if people are coming with him, because he understands. He's just wondering if his teammates are on the same system, and I think they are. They're intelligent footballers. At that level, you've got to be intelligent to understand what you've got to do, and I think Graham would be able to get over what he needs to fairly quickly.
What about Aston Villa then? They're actually unbeaten in their last 4 matches, but the mood around Villa doesn't feel like it's a team that have gone unbeaten in 4 games. There seems to be rumblings amongst the fans that they feel like they've just kind of stagnated a bit.
Well, it might be unbeaten. It's three draws there, as you can see, so it's only 1 win in those last 6. I think what happened was I think they were conceding too much, and I think he's had to really tighten everything up and gone, we might have to be a bit ugly, we might just have to be about results and concede very little, but it's also having a detriment at the top end of the pitch. So going to watch it, it's not great, because you're having to defend and we're not being attacking minded, and it's frustrating. And I think he's at home, but I think he was right to do what he did, be really compact, keep things tight, because the confidence was low, and it's a results orientated business. So even that mentality of saying, hey, we're unbeaten in 4, even though it is draws, it's still a different mindset.
When I look at the last 6 results, only 4 goals, and the creative players they've got, I think it's disappointing, especially with the goal scorers like Danny Ings. Watkins, for me, is not clinical enough. I think as a team, they're probably not clinical enough at the most, and we see they've got the 2nd fewest goals in the Premier League behind Wolves. That's not a good stat to have. Yes, it's about getting that balance. Karen's right, they showed up at the back, they're harder to beat, but it's about getting that balance right. You've still got to score goals if you're going to win games.
I think the frustrations are because of what they've spent and the calibre of players, as you said, they've got. So it's not adding up, those stats, and what that. So that the fans are like, we've got Steven Gerrard, we're buying these players, we're spending money, we've got these creative players. But although they've got them, for me, they never fitted the system. It was always kind of, it didn't suit him, it didn't flow. And I think he's had to do what he's had to do, but I think that's why the fans are frustrated, spending. I
feel as though Villa fans expect a lot. It wasn't long ago they're in the Championship and they've took massive steps forward. I understand they're a huge football club, but everything takes time, and at the minute they're in a comfortable position in the Premier League, but yet they still want more.